The space around Jupiter lit up with strange lights. Captain Olivia Martinez stood on the bridge of the research vessel, Horizon, her eyes fixed on the main screen. After 20 years in space, she thought she had seen everything. She was wrong. "Are you seeing this?" she asked, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Science Officer Daniel Wright nodded, his fingers flying across his control panel. "Yes, Captain. The readings are off the charts. It's definitely not one of ours." The crew watched in silence as a massive ship emerged from a swirl of blue light. It was unlike anything humans had built, smooth, with no visible engines, glowing with a soft green light. "Open all communication channels," Captain Martinez ordered. "Let's hope they're friendly." For 3 tense days, the alien ship stayed at a distance. The crew of the Horizon barely slept, taking turns watching the mysterious visitors. Then, on the 4th day, they received a message. "Captain, they're sending us something," said communications specialist Lisa Harris. I think it's a greeting." The alien message translated slowly through the ship's computers. They called themselves the Filari, a peaceful species from a distant star system. They had been watching Earth for some time and decided humans were ready for first contact. "Tell them we welcome them and would be honored to meet," Martinez said. The meeting was set up in the Horizon's main conference room. Security Chief Eric Mendoza wasn't happy about having aliens on board, but Captain Martinez overruled him. "This is a historic moment," she said. "Let's not start it with suspicion." When the Filari entered the room, the humans tried not to stare. The aliens were tall and slender with skin that looked like tree bark. Their 4 arms moved gracefully as they greeted each human with a strange bow. Their leader, who called himself Ambassador Xylith, spoke through a small device that translated his musical language. "We are pleased to meet the people of Earth," Xylith said. "Our alliance has many worlds, many species. We hope humans will join us among the stars." Captain Martinez smiled. "We are honored by your invitation. We have much to learn from each other." The first meeting went well. The Filari seemed curious about everything human. They asked about Earth's plants, oceans, and cultures. They shared stories of their own world, covered in forests where their people lived in harmony with nature. "We should share a meal," suggested Daniel Wright. "On Earth, breaking bread together is a sign of friendship." The Filari agreed eagerly. Their own customs also valued sharing food as a way to build trust. The ship's cook, Pete Garcia, prepared his best dishes, proud to serve the first human meal to alien guests. During dinner, the humans noticed something odd. The Filari only ate the vegetable dishes, politely refusing the chicken and fish options. "Do these foods not please you?" asked Officer John Patterson. Ambassador Xylith's skin changed color slightly. "We are curious about your diverse diet. On our world, we eat only plants." Lisa Harris smiled. "Many humans are vegetarians too, but most of us eat both plants and animals." At these words, the Filari delegates looked at each other. A strange tension filled the room. One of the aliens whispered something to Ambassador Xylith, who nodded slowly. "These items," Xylith pointed to the meat dishes, "they come from living creatures." "Yes," Daniel explained. "Though not intelligent species, of course." The Filari ambassador's expression was hard to read, but Captain Martinez noticed his skin had darkened considerably. The other aliens seemed suddenly stiff and uncomfortable. "Is something wrong?" she asked. "No," Xylith said quickly. "Too quickly. We are simply learning about your customs. Please, tell us more about Earth." The dinner continued, but the easy warmth of earlier was gone. As the Filari left the ship, Captain Martinez turned to Daniel Wright. "Did you notice how they reacted to our food?" Daniel nodded. "Something about our diet bothers them. I wonder what other differences might cause problems." Captain Martinez watched the alien ship through the viewport. First contact had gone well, she thought, but she couldn't shake the feeling that they had just stumbled into something much bigger than they realized. 1 week after first contact, The Filuri invited Captain Martins and 5 crew members to their mothership. The massive vessel dwarfed the horizon, its interior filled with gardens and flowing water. Plants grew everywhere, even along the walls and ceilings. "It's like walking through a forest," Lisa Harris whispered as they followed Ambassador Zillith down a wide corridor. Captain Martinez nodded, taking careful notes on her tablet. The Filuri clearly valued plant life in ways humans didn't fully understand yet. She hoped tonight's formal dinner would help bridge their cultural gaps. The dining hall took her breath away. Enormous trees grew from the floor to the ceiling, their branches forming natural arches. Flowers of all colors glowed with soft light. In the center stood a large table made from what looked like living wood. "Please be seated," Ambassador Zillith said. "We have prepared a special meal to honor our new friends." The human delegation sat down, trying to copy the proper Filuri posture. Other alien officials joined them, each introducing themselves with gentle bows. The mood was friendly, if somewhat formal. Servers brought out beautiful dishes filled with colorful fruits, vegetables, and strange plants the humans had never seen before. "These foods come from 12 different worlds in our alliance," Zillith explained proudly. "We hope they please your tastes." Daniel Wright, always the scientist, asked questions about each dish. The Filuri seemed delighted by his interest, explaining how certain plants only grew in specific gravity conditions or unusual atmospheres. Halfway through the meal, Officer John Patterson leaned toward Lisa Harris. "I'm still hungry," he whispered. "I wish they had some protein options." A nearby Filuri official turned toward them. The aliens had excellent hearing. "Protein? We have many protein-rich plant foods," the official said helpfully. "Perhaps you would enjoy these seed pods. They contain complete proteins." Lisa smiled politely. "Thank you. On Earth, many of us also get protein from animal sources." The official blinked slowly. "Yes, your captain mentioned this custom. We find it unusual, but we respect cultural differences." John, not noticing the tension, continued. "Actually, I brought something to share." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small package. "These are beef jerky strips. Dried meat. They're a traditional Earth snack. I thought you might want to try them." Captain Martinez saw what was happening too late. "John, I don't think." But John had already opened the package. The strong smell of dried meat spread across the table. The reaction was immediate and dramatic. The Filuri nearest to John jumped back from the table. Others froze in place, their skin changing to a pale gray color. One official made a high-pitched sound and rushed from the room. Ambassador Zillith stood up slowly, his forearms trembling slightly. "You brought the flesh of a dead animal to our sacred meal." The human delegation sat in shocked silence. Daniel Wright tried to save the situation. "We meant no offense. Sharing food is important in our culture too." "That is not food," another Filuri said, voice shaking. "That is a corpse." Captain Martinez stood up. "Ambassador Zillith, please accept our deepest apologies. We clearly have much to learn about each other's ways." But the damage was done. The Filuri whispered among themselves, some pointing at the humans with what looked like fear in their large eyes. "The meal is concluded," Zillith announced formally. "We must consult with our leaders about this development." As they were escorted back to their shuttle, the humans could see Filuri crew members watching them from a distance, no longer hiding their disgust and fear. "What just happened?" John asked, confused and embarrassed. Eric Mendoza, always suspicious, checked his security scanner. "They've raised some kind of alert. Their ship is buzzing with activity." Captain Martinez looked out the shuttle window as they departed. The friendly glow of the Filuri ship now seemed cold and distant. "I think we just created an interstellar incident," she said quietly, "and all because of a piece of beef jerky." Back on the horizon, they received a formal message. All meetings were postponed until further notice. The Filuri needed to reassess their position on human integration into galactic society. Lisa Harris looked worried. Captain, I'm picking up transmissions between the Filari ship and at least a dozen other locations. They're spreading the word about us. What word exactly? Martins asked. That humans are meat eaters, Lisa replied. And from what I can translate, they're calling us dangerous. 3 days passed without any word from the Filari. The crew of the Horizon grew restless, knowing something big was happening but unable to do anything about it. On the 4th day, everything changed. Captain, you need to see this, called Lisa Harris from her communication station. I've been monitoring alien frequencies and translating what I can. Captain Martinez hurried across the bridge. What have you found? Lisa pointed to her screen. Transmissions from all over. Not just from the Filari anymore. Dozens of different alien species are talking about us. The screen showed wave after wave of alien communications, all focused on one topic, humans and their diet. It's gone viral, Lisa explained. In space terms, anyway. The news that we eat meat has spread to every corner of what they call the Galactic Federation. Security Chief Eric Mendoza frowned. Are they planning something against us? Not exactly, Lisa said. But they're definitely scared. Look at this transmission from a species called the Verdani. She played a recording. The translator converted alien speech into a robotic voice. The carnivores from Earth must be contained before they make contact with vulnerable worlds. Their consumption of flesh indicates dangerous predatory instincts. Captain Martinez rubbed her forehead. Great. We've been part of the galactic community for 1 week, and we're already the bad guys. Just then, Daniel Wright burst onto the bridge. Captain, we've got company. A lot of company. On the main view screen, ships began appearing. Not just Filari vessels, but ships of designs they had never seen before. Within an hour, over 30 alien ships surrounded Earth. They're not attacking, Eric reported. Just watching us. A message came through on all channels. The face that appeared wasn't Filari. This alien had blue skin and a single large eye. People of Earth, the alien said, I am High Counselor Drav of the Galactic Federation. We must discuss your unusual biological practices. Captain Martinez was quickly summoned to an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders. Scientists, military officials, and politicians gathered to form a response team. Ambassador Susan Clark, Earth's most experienced diplomat, was called in to lead negotiations. This is ridiculous, said General Frank Porter. They're threatening us because we eat hamburgers. Ambassador Clark shook her head. It's not that simple. From what we're learning, every species in their federation evolved from plant eaters. They literally cannot understand eating another living thing. But plants are alive too, someone pointed out. They make distinctions, Daniel Wright explained. Their definition of life worthy of protection seems to be tied to mobility and a central nervous system. Captain Martinez watched the alien ships on the monitor. More were arriving every hour. What do they want us to do? Change our entire biology? She asked. Some of them are demanding exactly that, Lisa Harris said, still monitoring transmissions. Others are calling for Earth to be quarantined. Some extremists. She paused, looking worried. What is it? Martins asked. Some are suggesting Earth should be contained more permanently. The room fell silent. Ambassador Clark stood up. I need to speak with this High Counselor immediately. We need to explain that humans can't just stop eating meat. It's part of our nutritional requirements. As Earth's leaders argued about the best approach, ordinary people around the world watched the alien ships in the sky with fear and wonder. News that humanity's meat-eating ways had caused an interstellar incident spread quickly. Some people panicked, while others made jokes about alien vegetarians. On social media, the hashtag sorry we eat meat was trending worldwide. Some restaurants even offered alien-friendly menus with plant-based options. Back on the horizon, Captain Martinez looked at her worried crew. I never thought our first major crisis with alien life would be about food, she said. Eric Mendoza checked his weapons. Let's hope it stays about food and doesn't turn into something worse. As if answering his concern, 3 more alien battleships appeared above Earth. Captain, Lisa called out, the Federation Council is calling for an emergency meeting, and they want humans to attend. Martinez nodded grimly. Tell them we'll be there. And let's hope we can explain ourselves before this gets any worse. The Federation meeting was scheduled to take place on a massive space station orbiting Jupiter. As the human delegation prepared to depart, Engineer Kevin Jones approached Captain Martinez with an unusual request. Captain, I'd like Dr. Natalie Brown to join us, he said. Martinez looked surprised. The xenobiologist. This is a diplomatic mission, not a research trip. Kevin nodded eagerly. That's exactly why we need her. This whole conflict is about biology. We need to understand why aliens evolved so differently from us. The captain considered for a moment, then agreed. Dr. Brown was quickly added to the team. The space station was unlike anything humans had built. It was shaped like a giant wheel with spokes leading to a central hub. Gardens filled every available space, and the air smelled sweet and fresh. As they walked toward the meeting hall, Dr. Brown whispered excitedly to Kevin, "Look at their body structures. Not a predator among them. No forward-facing eyes, no sharp teeth." Kevin nodded. "I've been studying their technology too. Nothing designed for hunting or fighting. Even their ships are built for harmony with space, not conquering it." They entered a vast circular chamber where representatives from over 50 alien species sat in rising tiers. The humans felt all eyes upon them as they took their seats at the center. High Counselor Drav opened the meeting. "We gather today to address a disturbing discovery. Our new neighbors, the humans, consumed the flesh of other living beings." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some aliens moved away from the human delegation. Ambassador Clark stood to speak. "Honored Council, humans have evolved as omnivores. We eat both plants and animals. This is not by choice, but by biological necessity." "Necessity," the tall, willowy alien called out. "Our records show that many humans survive without meat." "Some do," Clark acknowledged, "but most require animal proteins for optimal health." The debate grew heated. Aliens described their horror at the thought of eating another creature. They showed images of their homeworlds where all species lived in peaceful cooperation. During a break in the proceedings, Dr. Brown pulled Kevin aside. "I need access to their biological database. There's something important we're missing." Kevin used his engineering skills to gain access to a data terminal. For the next hour, while diplomats argued, the 2 humans studied alien biology. When the council reconvened, Dr. Brown asked permission to speak. "Honored Council," she began, "I've studied your biological records and made a fascinating discovery. Every sentient species in the Federation evolved from herbivore ancestors." She displayed diagrams showing alien digestive systems. "Your bodies never developed to process meat. Your brains evolved different reward pathways. You physically cannot understand our diet because you evolved along a completely different path." Kevin stepped forward. "Humans come from a world where life took many forms. Some ate plants, some ate animals, some ate both. Our ancestors needed meat protein to develop larger brains." Dr. Brown nodded. "This isn't a moral choice, it's biology. Your disgust at meat eating is as natural to you as our ability to digest it is to us." The aliens listened carefully. For many, this was the first time they considered that humans might not be evil, just different. A Filari scientist stood up. "If what you say is true, your species should show predatory behavior in other ways. Are humans not warlike and territorial?" The human delegation looked uncomfortable. "We have had wars," Ambassador Clark admitted, "but we've also created art, music, and literature. We explore space out of curiosity, not hunger for conquest." High Counselor Drav studied the humans thoughtfully. "Perhaps we have judged too quickly. This requires more study." As the meeting adjourned, some aliens approached the humans with cautious curiosity rather than fear. "We may have found a way forward," Captain Martinez said to her team. "They're starting to see us as different, not dangerous." But as they returned to their ship, Lisa Harris looked troubled. "Captain, I'm still picking up hostile communications. Not all Federation members are convinced." "What are they saying?" Martinez asked. "They're calling us predators in disguise, and some are planning something called containment measures." The captain's brief moment of hope faded. They had made progress, but the danger was far from over. 2 weeks after the Federation meeting, Earth faced a new crisis. A fleet of 20 alien ships moved into positions around the planet. These weren't the diplomatic vessels from before. These were warships, armed and ready. "They're setting up a blockade," Security Chief Eric Mendoza reported. "No ships in, no ships out." In orbit above Earth, Captain Martinez and her crew watched helplessly as alien vessels intercepted human supply ships heading to Mars and the Moon colonies. "Who's leading them?" Martinez asked. Lisa Harris studied her communications panel. "A Filari commander named Vex. He's part of a group calling themselves the Purifiers. They believe meat-eating species are a threat to galactic harmony." On the main screen, a harsh face appeared. Commander Vex looked nothing like the peaceful Filari they had first met. His bark-like skin was darker, and his eyes burned with purpose. "People of Earth," he said, "your violent ways cannot be allowed to spread among the stars. You have 2 choices: abandon your consumption of animal flesh, or remain isolated from galactic society." Earth's leaders gathered in emergency session. Some suggested giving in to the aliens' demands. Others argued for fighting back. "This is about more than food," General Frank Porter insisted. "These aliens want to control how we live." Ambassador Clark tried to reopen diplomatic channels, but the extremists refused to talk. Meanwhile, ships carrying food and supplies to Earth's colonies were being turned back. Captain Martinez received urgent orders from Fleet Admiral Gregory Howard. "Prepare the horizon for defense operations. We won't fire first, but we must protect our ships." The situation grew worse when several Federation members joined the blockade. Earth's economy began to suffer as space trade stopped. News reports showed empty shelves in stores and rising prices. Public opinion split between those willing to change and those who resisted. Some cities held vegetarian rallies supporting compromise, while others hosted freedom barbecues in defiance. On the horizon, tensions ran high as they patrolled the edge of the blockade. The crew hadn't seen their families in weeks. "Captain, I'm picking up movement," Eric reported one morning. 3 Filari warships approaching the Moon colony. Martinez's heart sank. The Moon colony housed thousands of people, but had minimal defenses. "Set intercept course," she ordered. "Weapons on standby only." As they approached, they saw the alien ships surrounding the colony's main dome. A message came through from Commander Vex. "This colony has refused our demands. We are taking steps to ensure compliance." The alien ships aimed energy beams at the colony's food production facilities. "They're not trying to kill anyone," Daniel Wright said, watching the sensor readings. "They're destroying livestock farms and meat storage." Martinez made a quick decision. Move between those ships and the colony. Open a channel. On screen, Commander Vex's face appeared again. "Remove your vessel immediately," he demanded. "These are civilians," Martinez replied calmly. "If you have grievances, deal with Earth's military, not farmers and families." "They raise animals for slaughter," Vex said. "This must end." Martinez stood her ground. "Commander, I understand your beliefs, but this approach will only lead to conflict. Is that what you want? The first interspecies war over dietary choices?" For a moment, doubt crossed Vex's face. Then his expression hardened again. "You have 1 planetary rotation to evacuate all meat products from the colony," he said. "After that, we will remove them ourselves." The screen went dark. Martinez turned to her crew. Get me Admiral Howard and Ambassador Clark. We need a new strategy fast. Back on Earth, Dr. Brown and Kevin Jones continued their research, working day and night. There has to be a way to make them understand us, Kevin said, rubbing his tired eyes. Dr. Brown looked up from her computer. Maybe we've been approaching this all wrong. Instead of defending our diet, we should be explaining why it made us who we are. What do you mean? Kevin asked. She showed him a complex diagram of human brain development. I think I found something that might change everything. As the countdown to Vex's deadline continued, a small hope began to form. If they could make the aliens understand human evolution, perhaps there was still a chance for peace. Dr. Natalie Brown hadn't slept in 3 days. Her lab was covered with charts, sample tubes, and empty coffee cups. Kevin Jones worked beside her, running test after test on their new theory. Are you sure about this? Kevin asked, looking at their results. Dr. Brown nodded excitedly. Look at the enzyme comparisons. It's right there in the data. They had been studying samples from both humans and various alien species. What they discovered was remarkable. We need to get this to the Federation Scientific Council immediately, she said. While the scientists worked, Captain Martinez and the Horizon remained positioned between Commander Vex's ships and the moon colony. The deadline was only 6 hours away. Any word from Earth? Martinez asked Lisa Harris. Ambassador Clark is still negotiating, Lisa replied. And Admiral Howard has moved 5 more ships into position. If Vex attacks, we won't be alone. Martinez looked at the alien vessels on her screen. She didn't want to fight, but she wouldn't abandon the colonists either. Her tablet beeped with an urgent message from Dr. Brown. Captain, we've made a breakthrough. We need to present our findings to the Federation Scientific Council. Can you arrange it? Martinez read the attached report, and her eyes widened. This changes everything, she whispered. She immediately contacted Ambassador Clark, who used her diplomatic channels to request an emergency scientific hearing. To everyone's surprise, High Counselor Drav agreed. Within hours, Dr. Brown and Kevin Jones were aboard a fast shuttle to the Federation space station. They carried with them samples, data, and hope. The Scientific Council chamber was smaller than the main hall, with only 20 aliens present. These weren't politicians, but researchers and scholars from across the galaxy. Dr. Brown stepped forward nervously. She had never addressed alien scientists before. Honored Council, she began, we have discovered something important about human biology that may explain our dietary differences. She displayed a chart showing enzyme structures. This is P450, a unique digestive enzyme found in humans. It allows us to process protein more efficiently than any species in your records. Kevin activated a holographic display showing evolutionary timelines. Humans evolved in a challenging environment where plant food was sometimes scarce. Our ancestors needed meat protein to survive. Over time, our brains grew larger because of this high-protein diet. Dr. Brown continued, our scans show that human brains use 20% of our body's energy. Your species average 8 to 12%. Our unique metabolism made possible our rapid development from cave dwellings to space travel in just a few thousand years. The alien scientists leaned forward, their initial disgust giving way to curiosity. You are saying, one blue-skinned scientist asked, that your consumption of animal protein directly contributed to your intelligence. Yes, Dr. Brown answered. Without it, we might still be primitive. It's not a choice we made. It's the path evolution took on our world. The aliens discussed among themselves in their various languages. Some seemed genuinely fascinated rather than repulsed. An elder Filuri scientist raised a hand. If your theory is correct, we would see certain genetic markers. May we test your samples? Dr. Brown agreed immediately. For the next few hours, the aliens conducted their own analysis. The humans waited anxiously. Finally, the council returned. The elder Filuri looked at them with new eyes. Your findings are accurate, he announced. Your species truly is unique among all we have encountered. Your metabolism and brain development followed a completely different evolutionary path. High Counselor Drav, who had joined the session, looked troubled but thoughtful. This information must be shared with the entire Federation. The humans are not evil. They are biologically distinct. News of the scientific discovery spread quickly through Federation channels. Many alien ships withdrew from the blockade, including several of Commander Vex's allies. Back at the moon colony, Captain Martinez received a message from Ambassador Clark. The Scientific Council has recommended that all hostile actions against Earth cease immediately, the ambassador reported. They're calling humans a unique evolutionary case study worthy of scientific cooperation rather than isolation. Martinez smiled with relief. And Commander Vex. Still out there, Clark replied, but with far fewer supporters. The scientific evidence is turning opinion against him. As the deadline approached, Martinez watched Vex's ships carefully. Would science be enough to overcome fear and prejudice? Or was the worst still to come? Commander Vex refused to back down. Even as other ships left the blockade, his core fleet remained, weapons ready. He's desperate, Captain Martinez told her crew. He's lost support, but that makes him more dangerous. Admiral Howard ordered 5 more Earth ships to join the horizon near the moon colony. They would not fire first, but they would protect their people. Meanwhile, Ambassador Susan Clark worked on a solution. After 3 days of non-stop negotiations, she called an emergency meeting with Federation leaders and Earth representatives. I propose a compromise, she announced to the gathered aliens and humans. Humans will respect plant-based customs when visiting alien worlds. We will create special dietary zones on our ships and stations where meat consumption is allowed, but nowhere else. High Counselor Drav considered this. And in return, Clark continued, the Federation recognizes humanity's biological distinctiveness and lifts all blockades. We join the galactic community as full members, with our differences acknowledged but accepted. The debate lasted hours. Some aliens still couldn't accept humans eating meat anywhere. Some humans refused any restrictions on their diet. Finally, Drav spoke. Ambassador Clark's proposal is reasonable. Biological diversity has always been the foundation of the Federation's strength. We must adapt to each other, not demand others become like us. The vote passed by a narrow margin. The Federation officially recognized humans as omnivorous sentients with unique dietary requirements. The blockade was ordered to end immediately. Everyone turned to Commander Vex. Would he obey? For 3 tense days, Vex's ships remained in position. Earth forces prepared for the worst. Then, unexpectedly, a single shuttle launched from Vex's command ship. It requested permission to dock with the horizon. Captain Martinez met the shuttle personally, with Security Chief Eric Mendoza standing ready. When the door opened, Commander Vex himself stepped out. I request to speak with you privately, Captain, he said stiffly. In Martinez's office, Vex seemed smaller somehow, less threatening. My government has ordered me to withdraw, he said. But before I go, I needed to understand. Martinez nodded. What do you want to know? How can your people do it? Vex asked. Take the life of another creature. Does it not trouble your conscience? Martinez thought carefully before answering. Throughout our history, many humans have struggled with this question. Some choose not to eat meat for moral reasons. Others believe that respecting the animals we consume, not wasting their sacrifice, is its own form of honor. Vex listened silently. Our worlds are different, Martinez continued. On yours, all species live in harmony. On Earth, the natural cycle includes predators and prey. We evolved within that system. After a long pause, Vex spoke. I cannot change my feelings about your diet, but perhaps I was wrong to judge your entire species by standards that evolved on a different world. He stood to leave. I will withdraw my ships as ordered. But know this, many in the galaxy will watch Earth closely. Show us that humans are more than what they eat. 2 days later, the last blockade ships disappeared into deep space. For the first time in weeks, Earth's skies were clear of alien vessels. 1 month later, the horizon hosted a historic gathering. Ambassador Zilith returned, along with representatives from 12 Federation worlds. Captain Martinez and her crew welcomed them aboard. The ship's mess hall had been divided. One side offered a beautiful array of plant-based foods. The other, separated by a decorative screen, served traditional Earth dishes, including meat options. Ambassador Zilith approached Captain Martinez. "Your solution is acceptable, though I admit I still find it difficult to be near the other food." Martinez smiled. "Understanding doesn't always mean comfort. It just means we try to see beyond our differences." As humans and aliens mingled cautiously in the plant food section, Dr. Brown and Kevin Jones joined the captain. "Look at them," Kevin said. 2 weeks ago, they wanted to quarantine our entire planet. Now they're sharing meals with us." "Not completely," Dr. Brown pointed out. "We're still separate in some ways." Captain Martinez watched a young Filari scientist asking Daniel Wright questions about Earth biology. Nearby, Lisa Harris learned how to properly eat a strange blue fruit from a smiling alien diplomat. "It's a start," Martinez said. "The rest will come with time." The galaxy had learned that humans eat meat, and while they might never fully approve, they had begun to understand. For now, that understanding was enough to build a future among the stars.